Allison is attempting the quietest eating ever.
I wanted my McFlurry.
No, there's nothing wrong with wanting a McFlurry, but it's like you're being so dainty with it. It's like, ah.
Well, I didn't want to scrape the cup because you have to have your silence, and I didn't want to get anything crunchy and make sure I didn't get any M&Ms. So
It's
you're
okay.
just crunch, crunch, crunch.
I appreciate the effort. Thank you. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Threading and Dreading. We have a full house tonight. Sadly, no Paul. He couldn't make it again, but hopefully we'll have him back on again soon. But otherwise, we have a very full house. Going to go around the room and introduce everybody. To my right, we have...
3-star Sapphire.
How you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing very good.
Good. Little off topic, but everyone at my job is panicking at the moment because they believe someone from your job is going to be stopping by any second. So
They may or may not be.
I'm not going to mention what they are, but
I don't know. I don't go to your site. I don't go to your job, so...
The companies that shall not be named. Just like the place that Kim does not or does and does not
that
work.
I do not work.
That do or do not work that shall not be named.
I still love that place.
And next to Alison we have
The Karate Kid.
The Karate Kid.
Okay, yeah, we're just gonna go with a different nickname each week. So this week you're the Karate Kid.
Okay. Mr. Miyagi.
Wax on. Wax off.
Daniel-san, that toilet will not clean itself. And across from her, we have someone who has not joined us for several months. May we welcome back the prodigal daughter, I guess. Welcome back, the FanGirl Extraordinaire.
Hello, hello.
Yay!
Yay!
And there was much rejoicing. How you doing, ma'am?
Good.
Good to have you back.
Yay!
Fans have missed you.
Yay!
Fans of the FanGirl, how meta.
Hi, fans.
And she just opened up her very late Christmas gift.
I did.
Because she hasn't been back here since Christmas.
It could be an early next Christmas gift.
This is true.
Or early Christmas in July gift.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Christmas in July gift.
There
Or
you go.
people should just keep giving me presents. I don't mind that.
No excuse not to give presents. But it seems like she enjoyed them all.
I
So
did.
good. I'm glad to hear it.
Kind of wish that. Don't you kind of wish that was actually on the podcast? Like
Yeah,
me
oh
opening
my God.
everything?
Oh, she was so squeaky.
No. No. That squee would not have been audible on these microphones. I think he would have peaked every microphone in the room. But next
It's that dog level of hearing.
Uh,
That's where she was at. You couldn't even hear her.
But next to her, we have someone who's probably going to be quiet for most of the podcast because he doesn't have a mic. But our fact checker is finally back, Mr. Robin, a.k.a. Confucius 2.0. How you doing, sir?
Hello.
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 He should be actually working right now, but he played hooky to come spend time with us.
Well, in a way, I did. Oh, scavenger hunt.
Squirrel!
Dude, I opened the book last week and they were making fun of me for looking at the book.
Why?
I'm
But it's also a 2.0.
I'm about to open the book.
You should open the book.
So,
it's fun.
Scavenger Hunt 2.0 for Confucius 2.0. It works.
It's perfect.
But how are you doing, sir?
He wants to scavenger
Good.
hunt.
Good. You
eyeing
can
it
have at it with the Scavenger Hunt, dude.
Fantastic. Thank goodness my other half has the mic. Here you go.
Yeah. Oh, whoa! Hit her in the face with it. Gosh.
And
That was a little
scavenger hunt
unexpected.
comes out.
But yeah, imagine like a really big Where's Waldo.
That looks fun.
See,
I'm
and
gonna
you
be
wondered why
distracted,
I
aren't
was
I?
captivated last week with it.
OMGs, where it's in the suitcase.
But how's everybody doing?
I'm doing just dandy.
Good. Glad to hear it. And we're doing better because it's finally warming up in Delaware. Thank the Lord. Holy crap! It took until the middle of May for winter to finally say goodbye. You know.
Yeah.
But a couple weeks ago we had that stint of rain where it was like winter had to give that one last shot to the gut. You
the
know.
hurricane rain?
The
That
hurricane
wasn't a
rain, yeah.
hurricane?
Were you back for?
4 inches of rain in
Yeah.
a day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you back for that, Karen?
Was I back for that? Yes.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah. That. Holy crap! I mean, that was a 100-year flood right there. I mean, I hadn't seen that kind of rain in a long time since like Hello. Good you didn't have a mic for that.
I hope the mic actually picked that up.
I'm sure it did. But I hadn't seen rain like that since Floyd. I mean, that was just...
I don't know if that counts as a 100-year storm, though.
Well, why would you say that?
Because there's actually an inch that goes to the year storms. There's actually inches of rain per hour, or rainfall events. Like a 2-inch rainfall event is a 10-year storm.
Okay.
There's actually like engineering calculations that go with it.
So it would be at least a 10-year, but probably not a 100-year.
It may not be 100. It could be like a 50.
Okay.
It could be 100. It could be a 75. They have
Which is odd because we've been getting 10 and 50-year storms every 2 months.
Yeah.
Figure that math out, people.
I think we actually need to redo some of those calculations.
We're due for a big drought.
That is what
That was last year.
I can't think of it.
What?
Is climate change.
Ah, the term of the hour, climate change.
I was going to say global warming, but that's not correct anymore.
The word of the day
Hello,
is
I'm Al
climate
Gore.
change.
I'm here to talk to you about climate change.
Man, bear, pig.
Man, bear,
But
pig.
actually, the glaciers are melting. Very
Yes.
rapidly,
Yeah,
and they're not
a
gonna
huge,
be
a huge chunk just broke
something
off.
that just came out
Yeah.
today. That's more rapid or something.
Yeah,
I thought.
a huge chunk broke away from Antarctica or something that's like basically has been there for some 10,000 years and now it's not going to come back when it gets cold again.
Right.
Well,
Or something like that.
we are going out of an ice age.
Going out, yeah,
I
but
mean, so the ice has got to melt.
it has to melt, but I mean, it's got to come back, but this one isn't going to come back until the next ice age, but who knows when that's going to happen. And it's not going to happen day after tomorrow style, people. I hate how people went into that asking for, like, an authentic, like, climate change event. Like, you can believe the science in that film. I mean, that's like going to a wrestling event for Christian values.
What?
Yeah, what?
Look,
You lost me.
I actually kind of understood that because I think I'm just off.
no. Listen to my reasoning. It was a Ronald Emmerich film, the director of Independence Day and Godzilla and 2012. Big epic explosion films.
Mm-hmm.
And people went into that expecting a lesson about climate change.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That would be like going to a wrestling event expecting a lesson in Christianity.
Okay.
See what I'm getting?
It's just didn't happen.
No.
Here's-
Going to WWE is like going to church.
Yes.
So
The Church of the Undertaker, yes.
Oh, brother.
so Vince
I get it,
McMahon
brother.
would be like the
What you gonna do?
When they
So-
come for you.
I think I've lost half my audience by this point, but
everybody's like, all right, this threading and dreading is done.
Yeah.
have a good night.
Gross
Just
too
need
much.
to
I'm
make
gonna
better
watch The Voice now.
analogies.
Oh, please
Like-
don't remind me.
Wait, what?
No, the Voice live show is on tonight in like an hour.
Audience is gone. All they hear is crickets.
No, what was that, Karen?
Oh no, the Voice live show.
Oh, The Voice.
The
Okay, I'm
Voice.
sorry. You lost me. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
I've been
she lost me, too.
following that. So
Okay.
yeah, it's the results show are on tonight. So we're finding out who's going to be in the final.
Okay. The show that
So
Kim and
she's
I...
very mad at you for making her be here instead
Oh,
of watching
I am sorry.
The Voice.
I am so sorry. My deepest apologies. A show that Kim and I watched actually ended a couple weeks ago, which is Face Off.
Oh, I didn't even see it. I fell asleep.
But you know who won, though.
What?
Does
You
it
know who
like a
won.
Do I
Comcast? Isn't
know?
it on demand?
Yeah, it is. I just haven't been on there yet. to
No,
watch
you
it.
you do know. You woke up and saw the ending and who
No,
won.
No, I didn't.
You did. You
No.
might. You were awake. You looked at it, then you went right back to sleep.
Well, then that doesn't count as being awake.
So
So her eyes were opened for at least a split second.
but you don't remember who won?
Was it Rashad?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yes,
That's a
it was
good
Rashad.
guess.
Yeah, and I was happy he won. He was by far my favorite for the entire season, and he did a very good job, and I was happy he won. He's a very good artist.
I would have been too if I had seen it.
Sorry.
Somebody didn't wake her up.
Hey, no, I tried to wake
He
her up.
actually did try.
Look, he tried
I
to poison
know.
you last week.
Oh,
That's
don't!
biscuits.
That's right.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
You did.
No,
Yeah.
we're not discussing that again. I'm
Luckily,
not
my
even.
immune system
I'm
is
not even
strong enough to
acknowledging
fight
it. I deny your last
I spent
statement.
the last, I don't know what he says, 12 years of my life building up a resistance to iocane powder.
Exactly.
Princess Bride.
Wait,
Did you ever see
Robin,
that
do you not
movie?
get that reference?
It's the Princess Bride.
I should just quote it the other day.
Aw.
Do I look somebody that watches The Princess Bride?
Hey, dude, Nate can like quote that movie verbatim, and he does.
Dude, the
It's adorable,
Princess
pretty
Bride
much.
isn't like the Princess Diaries, okay? Where it's
it
some
is so not.
No, it's a good comedy. It's fun. And it has a solid cast behind it. I mean, Carrie Ells, what?
Nope, Mandy Patinkin.
Yep, there you go.
Robin Wright. Is she Robin Wright Penn or Robin Wright?
I think it's Robin
Sounds
Wright.
like Robin wrong.
You got a little, Billy Crystal in there.
Billy Crystal, Andre the
just
Giant.
alone.
Yeah, Andre the Giant. Right?
Which, by the way, I love Andre the Giant in that film. He is so much fun.
I'm not used to fighting one man. It's hard.
Which, by the way, I don't know if you saw, like, what was it, like the 30th reunion, 30th year anniversary, or the 20th year anniversary of the cast coming back together to make the same standstill that they did from the first film. And they all put the picture together, and they had a portrait of Andre the Giant in the corner. I said, "Oh, Andre." Felt sad. Andre, no.
There was some movie that came out like 40 years ago. Oh, Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, it's 40th
40 years
anniversary.
to Blazing Saddles, guys.
Yeah, think of that. Holy crap.
I know. I was like, it was like out 10 years before I was
Yeah,
born.
and that movies like that have revolutionized not only like the parody genre, but like the movie genre as a whole. And I've heard some people make criticisms of Mel Brooks, but his early work still holds up to this day.
Well, there's a nice article about it in Entertainment Weekly talking about it. And they're saying, when he made that movie, he was like, well, let's just offend everybody. It's never going to get produced anyways. Well, this is kind of racist in this. He's like, put it in. Why not? And the guy who was actually supposed to play the sheriff wasn't, they said it wasn't black enough. He was too Indian and not black enough. And then they found that guy, and they're like, he's blacker than black. He'll work. Let's just add some more racism in there.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's how they really attacked the movie. They're like, we're not going to leave anything out. We're just going to make it as absurd as possible, and we'll see how it goes. And
see,
it went.
The problem now is modern parody films also strive to offend, but for exactly the wrong reason.
I think modern parodies that do that, they're just over the top.
No, I'm saying
Like,
I'm saying
they're just
I'm
ridiculous.
offended by modern parody films. Films like Vampires Suck and Meet
What,
the
you don't like
Spartans.
vampires?
Those films offend my intelligence.
You just hate that they bit off of Twilight because it's your favorite movie series.
We're gonna move on. But does anyone have anything to bring up before we get into a little bit of movie news? Current events, things going on, projects working on, anything?
Nope.
My nephew's adorable.
Wait,
I'm
did
still
we already
adorable.
mention that? Yeah, we did mention
Yeah.
that a while
I'm
back.
just saying he's still adorable.
You're gonna bring him in for show and tell.
If I can pry him out of my sister and my dad's hands, I would.
Nice.
Dude, he totally... Oh, man, I was so mad at my dad. My sister came over, and of course, her husband's like, oh, what? I don't get any hugs? I'm like, okay. So, like, I abandoned the baby for like 20 seconds. Okay?
First
Baby's
mistake.
still in the car seat. My dad swoops in like a hawk, grabs the baby. I'm like, hey, that's not fair. He's like, you snooze, you lose. That's what he said to me. I was like,
It's like
baby stealer.
baby's like a cherub. It has to be shared by the clan.
He does. He does.
Oh, God. Well, moving on to a little bit of movie news. First thing we have up is actually a little bit of sad news. The artist, the late great now, H.R. Geiger passed away today. Offhand, I had mentioned this to Kim. Does anyone know who H.R. Geiger is, perchance? Okay. I'll mention the work he did, and you'll probably recognize his work immediately. He was the main artist for Alien. He designed all of the xenomorphs for the movie Alien. A lot of his work has been, been inspiring people for years. He also worked on the Poltergeist series. He worked on Species. He actually designed an early Batmobile for the movie Batman Forever, but Joel Schumacher, being the dick that he is, actually scratched that design. And I was like, who wouldn't love to see a Batmobile designed by the guy who did Alien? It's like, come on! But
the guy who did Alien, he can't design.
Yeah.
Right.
No. It's just
But
not
yeah, he's done so much other work. He's actually worked with Danzig, Korn, and the Dead Kennedys. He's done a lot of work in the industry, and he actually won the Oscar for Best Visual Effects for Alien, which I think was, of course, definitely deserved. But he sadly passed away today, and he was a phenomenal artist, and he's inspired so many people, not only in the physical arts, and for the practical arts for film, but also in special effects, because he did do a little bit of work for Prometheus and even modern day work as far as CG. So he will definitely be missed in the industry. He was a force to be reckoned with even to this day. He wasn't even doing that much work in the last few years, but he was still inspiring artists everywhere. And if you look at all of his films, the way that his aesthetic was, it was what I like to call like biomechanical. Everything had, like a metal sheen to it, and everything looked like it was mechanical, but it could still be a living, breathing thing. It's a shame because, if you want to be greedy, you want to have him around for a few more years just to get some more work out of him, get some more xenomorph designs or something. But I mean, and the current joke was that he basically, for the Alien films, just said, make everything phallic. Everything. Sir, it's a little too more phallic. But anyway, he was definitely an inspirational man, and he will be missed in the industry. So, to you, H.R. Geiger, I raise my glass of Leinenkugel to you. Thank you for all of your work.
It looks like an alien himself.
Silence. Gee, thanks.
But he was a great man.
But he was a great man.
Yes.
I like his work.
Yeah. In fact, a lot of his work was actually inspired off the H.P. Lovecraft stuff, like the Necronomicon and stuff. A lot of his designs were pulled straight from that book. So, yeah, cool stuff. Didn't know.
Did he physically made the creatures, or just designed them?
Early on, yes, he was also part of the crafting team.
Okay.
Later on, he really just became more of the artist.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he would have been the early winner of Face Off.
And Jim Henson's Muppet Creature
And
Show
Jim
thing.
Henson's, yes.
Creature Shop. There we
Which,
go.
has
I was
anyone been
like,
watching that?
No.
Yes.
Kim and I have been watching it. I enjoy it.
Nate's been watching. Nate loves it.
I like finale's on tonight.
It is, and we're going to miss it probably.
I'm not gonna miss it. I'll probably fall
Kim's
asleep.
like, we are moving this podcast along. TikTok.
Moving on from that, some interesting news that I'm sorry to say Paul isn't here to rant about, because I'm sure he has some things to say.
When
is that
doesn't Paul have something to say?
this is very true. This is very true. But it has been revealed that Channing Tatum has been cast
I
as
saw
Gambit for the next X-Men film, and then he will have his own solo film, a spin-off solo film. Yeah. This was just announced today, and it was confirmed by, Hollywood Reporter, that he will debut in the 2016 X-Men Apocalypse film, and soon after will appear in his own spin-off film. Now, Fox has confirmed that they have what's called the Untitled X-Men film, slated for 2018. That's 4 years off, but no one knows if that's going to be a Gambit film or not. So that's 4 years away. Whether or not they're planning that far ahead for Gambit, no one knows.
And I'm sorry. When did you say this Apocalypse one?
The
comes
Apocalypse film is 2 years from now. That's going to be the sequel to Days of Futures Past.
Right.
But he'll be appearing in that as Gambit. Now,
He better work on his accent.
yes, his
Cajun? Not Cajun.
it is Cajun. It's Cajun combined with a little Creole.
Yeah, Creole. Maybe
yeah.
that's what I meant.
He should just go down to Louisiana and eat some crawdads.
Yeah. Cajun is more, I would say, rogue. I guess she kind of has a Cajun accent, but I guess you can just call her Southern.
I
For the
bet
most
you
part.
Yeah.
she's just Southern. She's like a Southern belle.
Yeah.
But Gambit's in there somewhere. Cajun Creole, something like that.
Yeah.
But if you recall, and they actually had cast Gambit for X-Men Origins Wolverine, an actor by the name of Taylor Titness. I butchered that name. Titness. Yeah. Taylor Kitschitz is how you pronounce his name.
I think that's how you pronounce his name,
Yeah.
at least.
I don't know. I butcher people's names all the time on this podcast, so forgive me, Taylor, if you're listening to this. But they had cast him for it, and
One less viewer.
in X-Men Origins, that was one of the highlights of the film. I liked Gambit in that film. Only problem was he didn't show up until an hour and a half into the film, and he was
Yeah.
only in the movie for about 5 minutes. I was
Yeah,
like,
but
you
he-
took
that
the...
guy did a good job.
Oh, they did. For those 5 minutes.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, I kind of wish this guy would come back for another film. Of course, they didn't do that. They did First Class, which, oh well. But, First Class was great, but, you're not going to bring him back. So he's obviously not going to be in Days of Futures Past, but he will be in Apocalypse. And I wanted to get your guys' feel for what you think of this, for this casting. I mean, Gambit has become almost like Wolverine in a way. Like, he's gotten this really deep fan base behind him.
Right.
And girls just swoon over Gambit.
But, question.
Shoot.
The only well, let me preface this with the only Gambit that I know is the one from the cartoon.
Right.
And in the cartoon, he didn't look like, like a beefy guy.
He wasn't.
He's more like slender built.
Right.
And when I think of Gambit, definitely don't think of someone
like Channing
like
Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
Right. And that was the same thing. The guy in Origins, he was a lean guy. He was a fit guy, but he wasn't, jacked.
Exactly.
Now
Wolverine, yes, he's Jack.
Right.
He's the Wolverine.
Yes.
That makes sense. Not Gambit to me.
Right.
Least.
Gambit is much more of a, he's a fighter, but he's much more of an agile guy.
Right.
He's
not. So he doesn't rely on brute strength.
Correct.
And he uses like his
abilities,
magic
right?
and stuff.
Which
Not
is
mutant abilities.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Everyone's crucified her.
Paul would kill you for that.
Dude,
No.
that was great on the bloopers.
I snorted.
Did you watch the bloopers, by the way?
I did.
And did you like them?
I did. Yeah, we watched together, and we thought it was
I mean,
hilarious.
when I was going through watching the clips, and you just like horrified of Robin latching onto you, I was like, "Oh man!"
I wasn't horrified. I don't think you know what my horrified face was. That was not me being horrified.
Okay, you were anxious. You were very anxious.
Because I'm incredibly ticklish.
Oh.
Yeah. So I
So you're
the-
like, he's gonna tickle me, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to scream. I'm just gonna be laughing. Oh my god, do it again.
Exactly. I was more anxious about being tickled, kind of just having things.
That'd be interesting. Zombie latches onto your neck and you start laughing with glee.
No, because it's funny because people think being tickled, it's funny. Most people think that, and you're laughing, but it's actually an involuntary response. And apparently in China there used to be this ancient tickle torture where
Yes.
it's where it's so uncomfortable that is the involuntary response that you give, but it's you're constantly squirming and you're trying to get away, but it's not the most comfortable feeling ever.
Right.
Right.
And other countries have actually I don't think it came up in the Geneva Convention, but I think other countries have actually developed their own form of tickle torture. Seriously. It's actually been utilized by not in the first world, I think, but in other countries they still use a form of it. A very minimal form of torture, but they have it.
Yeah.
And it's it's strange, to walk into an interrogation room with a feather. Give us the coordinates.
Give me your best with that feather.
Give it! Stop tickling me! Stop tickling me! Stop tickling me!
Oh God. But to get back on Gambit, yeah, Kim, you're absolutely right. He's not a jacked guy,
Right.
And to compare it to something, do you remember when we watched Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy?
Yes.
Tom Hardy was in that.
Yes.
Before Tom Hardy became ripped for Bane.
Right.
Now again, that was before and after. Channing Tatum is the after.
Yeah, he's already at the
He's already
actor.
at that
He doesn't
point.
have to bulk up
Exactly.
anymore.
But so how is he going to get lean? So I don't think he is. I don't know how they're going to hide his
Yeah.
build for
Well,
this.
what about how they
With that
did
long trench
Captain
coat.
America?
Well, they're not going to CG his body for the entire film. That would just be silly.
Well, I don't know what he starts out with and how he's going to end, or if it start. I mean, like Captain America was just the beginning,
Well, right.
so maybe
I
they're
mean,
just
and-
gonna progress him faster.
Right. And again, they may not have the exact same version of Gambit in this. This may be
Yeah.
a beefier version of Gambit, which would be okay, but
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know-
that in and of itself isn't a deal breaker.
no,
but-
it's not. It's his performance, right?
Yeah.
And seeing Channing Tatum do a Cajun Creole, whatever it may be, accent,
Could
I don't
be
know.
incredibly disastrous.
It could
yes.
be.
That's
Now-
not an easy act.
It not Now, let me say this. I don't hate Channing Tatum.
But you hate Channing
No, I
Tatum.
don't! My God! In recent years,
That's good.
I've liked some of the stuff he did. I think I brought this up before. The movie Side Effects that we saw him.
Yes.
He was really good in Side Effects, and I liked him in that. Everything else I've seen him in, he's either been.
Didn't you like him in Magic Mike?
I didn't see Magic Mike.
Shame. What a
21
bad
Jump
projection.
Street?
I actually didn't see 21 Jump Street.
22 jumps. Oh, wait a minute.
No, that's a trailer for next week, Rob. Don't jump ahead. No, and I know he's been getting better. He's not just the meathead he used to be in film, because originally he was just the meathead. For anyone who saw the first G.I. Joe film, he was a meathead.
Well, he started off with like Step Up, right?
Yes.
And
Think-
that, I mean, that
yeah.
wasn't too meatheady, was it?
For me it was.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I just remember the dancing. I
Remember
can't
him
really
in
remember.
Well, I mean, that's the only thing you can remember with the film. That's the point of remembering something like
Yeah.
that. I can't do dance films. I'm sorry. Dance films hurt my mind. They're one of the few genres that I can't watch. I will watch a romantic comedy, but I
because
cannot.
there is nothing wrong with a romantic comedy.
No, there isn't. No,
You say it like it's a bad thing.
no,
Like,
no.
I won't watch dance movie. He's like, I'll suffer
No,
through
no,
the
I'm not
romantic
saying
comedy.
like that. I'm not saying
Only
like that.
because
No,
I
I'm not
love
saying
my
like
girlfriend,
movie.
and it's not a dance movie.
Look, I'm not.
But if there's dancing in it, we're
can
done.
can I talk?
Are you gonna poison us, Triscuits?
Look, there are no genres of film that I refuse to watch except for dance films because I do not fundamentally get it.
What about jump rope films?
I do not get the appeal of dance films. I don't get the appeal.
What are you talking about? Just like dance battle films?
Yes.
Or like something like
Save the Last Dance with Julia.
Let's say yeah,
Styles.
same thing.
Styles.
Same
or like
thing.
Center Stage, where it was about a ballet company.
But what about Black
What
Swan?
about, like,
Wasn't that about ballet
Billy
too?
Elliot?
That's dance.
No,
I
Black
never saw Billy
Black
Elliot.
Swan
never
had
did either, but
Black.
You know, I thought it
Dancing.
apparently was good, so I don't know.
I like to think Black Swan was not a dancing film. It
What about
was a
Footloose?
character
Footloose
study.
had a lot of dancing.
What?
Footloose had a lot of dancing.
Ooh,
It was all about getting to dance.
But there was only really one scene in there, or two scenes in there that involved like really dancing.
No?
Yeah.
Footloose? Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I thought
I don't know. I've never actually
that
seen the whole
angry
thing.
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon angry dancing is like the best thing.
Careful, Karen, your fangirl is showing.
Nah.
So we digress. Channing Tatum, we'll have to wait and see with this. I don't think there's a whole lot of outrage with this casting. Unlike other actors who have been cast of late, Affleck. But it's
Ben Affleck. Oh,
Affleck.
Nice. Okay.
But we'll wait and see with this one. I think he'll be okay. He's really got to get that accent down, but we'll see what happens.
Unless they just do like what's like a, I want to say like Kevin Costner and like Robin Hood.
Oh
where He
God!
just doesn't even
Oh
attempt to
God!
do an accent.
That hurt. That hurt so much.
I finally watched that whole thing through.
I've never actually seen it.
And
No.
I kept quoting Robin Hood Men in Tights. And Nate would look at me and just smile and be like, "You're adorable, babe. You're adorable."
That movie hurt my soul. Now here's the thing.
They're dancing.
Yeah, there was a lot of dancing. Yeah.
She's got a flower in the tower.
Here's the thing. The music in Robin Hood was really good, but that was the only good aspect of the film, the only thing to take away from it. Sadly.
Okay, I didn't mean for you to
start
rage
ranting.
about Robin
I'm sorry.
Hood.
We're going to move on.
Road rage?
I'm sorry.
Robin Hood rage?
So, this I'm actually going to need Robin's help on.
Uh-oh.
Robin, I need you to look this up. The first images of Ben Affleck as Batman.
Oh.
They're up.
They are up.
I've seen an image.
They were posted today. There was two
I think,
images.
unless it was a
Yeah.
made-up image.
No, there were 2 images posted today. So, Robin, I want you to look those up. You can either go to comingsoon.net or oneofus.net. But
Won't they be on Google?
what?
Sorry, what?
What
Do you
are
see
you
it? What are
looking
you
He's
up?
doing?
crashing up some candies over there.
Oh, that's what he's doing.
The first.
God.
Let's see.
What? What did you look up?
Nice.
I have a feeling he didn't look up the first picture of Ben Affleck. No, that is not.
I feel like that image needs to go as we're talking about this.
Okay.
They're like, here's the first image.
I'll share that
Bam!
image. I will share that
There it
image
is.
later.
That's
Yes.
the image, guys. That's the image.
That was not Ben Affleck
No,
as
it was
Batman.
Ben Affleck.
It was Ben Affleck.
Kapow!
what I was looking at. All right. What was the website again?
Okay, go to comingsoon.net or oneofus.net.
One of us.
One of us. Google gobble. Google gobble. We accept her. We accept her. Are we the only ones who have seen Freaks?
I know that I.
Well, I mean, you've talked about it,
Yeah.
but I've never seen it.
But yes, the first images of Ben Affleck as Batman were actually released today by Warner Brothers, along with the first images of the redesign of the Batmobile. Now, you're going to see these in a little bit, and the Batman suit, I'm okay with.
Does it have nipples?
No, it does not have nipples.
good.
So it's okay. But I will
About a
say,
bad credit card.
no, it,
Smashing them this time
yeah.
instead of protruding them.
he doesn't have a Bat credit card, hopefully. But the design of the Batmobile looks really, really good. And I'm going to talk about it when you guys see it. But it looks like they combined the design from the Christopher Nolan films with the one from the Arkham series.
Okay.
And it was a hybrid of the two, and it looks incredible. I'm like, that is a brilliant design to try and incorporate, the different universes you have going on at this moment. Because, of course, the Nolan films are going to be in everyone's mind, and everyone's been playing those Arkham games. This is the perfect hybrid, and it looks really well done. So, once Robin is done crushing candy...
Where is it at?
it should be one of the first links on the page. Well, I've got it.
Yeah, I think I do too.
You guys suck. Should have brought my iPad.
You have failed at your job, Robin. I'm joking.
Aha!
Yeah, I got it. Okay, well, you guys can look at it over there. I'm going to
It's
share
this one, right?
it with the people over here. Yes, it's that one.
Okay.
So here's the first image. I'll hand that to Alison. She can take a look.
No nipples.
No nipples.
Is that his car too?
Yes, that's... Yeah, I said the Batmobile would be in there.
Pretty cool car.
Yeah, it's a badass
Kind of looks like
car.
a little tank.
Yeah.
Oh, so you found it, Kim?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw it before.
You already seen it?
This, yeah.
Okay.
Saw it on Facebook. Hello.
Oh, okay.
Where have you been,
Alrighty,
Michael?
so a couple things about this.
He needs bigger ears.
Apparently.
Yes.
It makes him look less adequate.
That has been a common complaint. Now, to address that, I will say this. I know the design they're going for. The smaller ears were from a couple of things.
Bats have small ears.
Well, no. In the Batman universe. Classically, the smaller ears are associated with a spin-off series called The Dark Knight Returns, which is the series where a very aged Bruce Wayne comes out of retirement to try and fight a corrupt Superman. And in that series, Bruce is basically 1 foot in the grave. He cannot fight anymore. He has to use a lot of enhancements, and it's a really different take on the Batman story. Now, the suit, classically, is what this looks like. The ears are very small. It's a very minimal suit. There's not a whole lot to it. With this, I like this design in that sense. Now, I don't like that the emblem is basically his entire chest.
Oh, I
That-
see it.
That's a little odd. If you take a, go ahead.
I'm not a. I don't know. Like I'm not. I don't know like my history,
It's,
my
like,
Batman
right.
history that well.
Yeah.
But looking at it, I'm not the biggest fan of this suit. But I think it's because it looks so latexy and so skin tight. It kind of just reminds me of it's basically the Superman suit that in the Man of Steel movie.
Right.
but
That's
it's
a decent
just-
comparison. Yeah.
But it's
I
just
don't think I like the
Batman.
ears.
So
They're too tiny.
I'm not.
No, and you know, that's a fair point. But you know that is Zack Snyder's design. A lot of his stuff, people have pointed this out in other films. A lot of his stuff tends to be very tight on his actors. He likes to have their body be part of the performance.
I don't mind that. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind that. But I just feel like there's something just not sitting right. I know that's like the worst kind of comment that I could possibly
Well, no,
make.
it's
but
not. It's not.
Like just it doesn't feel right.
No,
Like,
that's okay.
it's
Now,
like-
there's one thing that people pointed out, and it's actually more of an optical illusion in this image. But if you look at it, his left leg is kind of bent back, and it makes him look like he has what people are calling the bat bulge. It looks like his pants have a massive bulge in it.
Oh, I see.
They probably do. He is.
And everyone's like, Batman has a codpiece. I was like, no, it's just an optical illusion from the picture, but yeah, that's going to be a thing for a while. Everyone's like, Zack Snyder gave him a codpiece.
Damn, he's so equipped.
Is that like in the smoke right there? What's that?
And
Is that something, or am I just?
that's like the back wheelbase, I think.
Oh,
I think that's the back wheel.
Because I thought it like looked like a reflection of something.
Yeah, it could kind of be like a face or something, but I think it's
Yeah.
actually just the back wheel and the
Okay.
covering of the wheel. Yeah. But again, that design of the Batmobile, I love that design. I think that is a fantastic design. Again, this film isn't all about the design. We have to make sure the story is okay too, but first hints, I like where this is going. I like this design. And we obviously don't see much of Affleck in that, but he looks convincing. I don't know why he looks so sad in that picture, but from that cut, it looks like, okay, he looks like he's got the build of Bruce Wayne. Looks like got the build of Batman, so I'm okay with it for now.
Okay.
I don't think I ever doubted the fact that he could kind of maybe look like Batman.
Well, no.
But I think I'm just gonna hold off and see what he's going to be like as Batman.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay. Well, fair enough. I'm sure next week when Paul's on, or whenever he's on next, he will have a lot to say about this image, and a lot to either in support or negative about it. But we will see then, or you'll see a really long comment on this post when it goes up. One of the two. But past that, we're actually going to get into the trailers, and the first one we have up tonight is Boyhood.
Just wanna fight with everyone else.
You guys ready to have some fun? All right, don't worry about it.
Looks like you used the bumpers.
You don't want the bumpers. Life doesn't give you bumpers. God damn it.
We have a new student joining us today. Aiden, welcome to the suck.
Judging people's reactions, I don't think they know what to say about this. Robin, do you have something to say? Go ahead. Robin.
Thank you. That's all I have to say.
That says it all.
No, I like the concept, but I don't think whoever directed this is I'm guessing
Richard
it's
Linklater.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think. I kind of feel like when I saw the trailer, it was very bland, and
It doesn't reveal a whole lot. Yeah.
Right.
Is it just a story of a boy growing up? I mean, that's the question you ask.
right, and that's not what I want a movie to be.
Right.
You know.
It's the idea of this film isn't the story, it's the making of the story. That's what the draw of this film is. And I feel that more often than not, a lot of films in Hollywood are going for that. It's like, look at how we shot this. Come and see this because this is how we made this film. It's like to compare to something else. Recently, the Scarlett Johansson film, Into the Skin. Or
Right.
Under the Skin.
Right.
I don't know if you heard about this or not, but in that film, they literally kidnap people off the street. It was filmed in Ireland, I believe, and the people you see interacting with Scarlett Johansson are people right off the street. She goes out just picking up guys, pretending like she's going to have a good time with them that night, like meeting them in bars, and they're just people right off the street. So they're getting a very honest performance out of them. But it's actually kidnapping.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And when word of that spread, people are like, oh, we have to see that. But it's like, well, what about the story? You're not interested in the story. You're just interested in how the film was made.
Yeah.
You know?
It's almost kind of like a semi-documentary, kind of, like when I saw it. And I don't know. It's interesting enough, and I'm sure that it'll appeal to certain crowds and certain groups of people.
Right.
Yeah.
And now,
She's like, maybe not me.
Yeah.
I'm sure
crowd.
other people might enjoy it.
one of my questions is, obviously they tracked this boy for 12 years.
Right.
Did they hire on these actors for 12 years?
They would have had to.
That's my question. Because I look at Ethan Hawke early on, and he looks like a younger Ethan Hawke.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, wow, they brought back these actors like every 6 months or so
Yeah.
to shoot another scene. And I was like, well, that's probably heaven for them because it's a steady paycheck, But it'd be very sporadic paycheck, but
It's what, a 12-year period?
12-year
Is it?
period, yeah.
12-year period. It's almost like, Orlando Bloom on Lord of the Rings.
oh yeah, wow.
Like,
Wow, how weird would that have been if it was Orlando Bloom in this, tracking his entire career through this movie.
I would have watched that. Oh my god, I'm so shallow.
Aw. But yeah, so I can't recall the rest of the cast. Obviously, there's Ethan Hawke, but
I was the
one of
that I
the
remember.
Arquette.
yeah,
Patricia-
yeah,
Patricia
right.
Arquette, I
That was
think.
it. And I
I don't even know
like.
if they mentioned her name though in the thing. Did they at the
I
end?
think they did. Yeah, it was
Okay.
in the credits.
I
yeah.
think it was like she was the first name to come
Oh,
up
okay.
on their credit.
Okay.
Right.
gotcha.
I'm pretty
Oh yeah, Robin's looking it up for us. Thank you, Robin. Again, this is intriguing. This is and the trailer I linked you, it was a link to indie trailers, and yes, this is very much an indie film. Something that you had no funding for. It's almost like an excuse to spread out a film that long. It's like we had no funds, so we have to shoot it over a 12-year period.
Like, we saved enough money. Let's go shoot another few scenes.
Yeah.
I already saved up enough.
Okay, guys, see you in 6 months.
Yeah, in the cast,
yeah.
they did. There's Ethan Hawke, Patricia Arquette, Eller Coltrane.
Coltrane. Wow.
Lorelei Linklater, Nick Krause, Brad Hawkins, Shane Graham.
And it is Richard Linklater, director?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I'm intrigued by this. I'm interested to see, how this boy performs over his lifetime, to see if he becomes a better actor by the end of the film as opposed to
Right.
early in the film. That would be intriguing.
It seems like it should be more of like a case study in something and not an actual scripted movie.
Yeah.
That's
To me, it didn't feel like it was the way they first presented it. Like, didn't feel like it was going to be a.
It's like the
movie.
Harry Potter series.
wow. Yeah.
Right? 'Cause,
It's a no-budget
Yeah.
version of the Harry Potter series.
and with no
Wow,
magic.
that is a perfect
Right?
comparison. Holy crap.
Because,
Magic makes things better.
yeah, it does. I agree.
Hogwarts makes things better.
And in that, I don't think Daniel Radcliffe's acting really improved that much throughout. So.
you didn't think
He
Daniel
just made me
Radcliffe?
angry, but then
Yeah.
again, the books made me
Exactly,
angry too.
me
So I was
yeah.
like,
So I guess that makes
I guess
sense.
you followed the books pretty well and
Yeah.
made me angry too.
Yeah.
You didn't like his performance?
I mean, it was okay.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Have you seen anything else with him in it?
Yes,
No.
I saw The Woman in Black.
me too.
Oh.
And
is that any good?
I kind of liked him in it.
Yeah.
Totally was like,
Yeah, I can't watch.
There
horror
were a
films,
lot
so.
of there were a lot of jump scares in that film.
Oh,
a
God,
lot,
there were.
yes. But they were convincing jump scares.
Okay.
So.
at the end, I was like, no. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
That's how you're gonna end this? Really?
Yeah, that was kind of upsetting. ending.
Yes, upsetting ending. But we digress. Getting off of Boyhood, from which we had really not much to talk about, is one that I do have a lot to talk about, which is The Edge of Tomorrow.
The invasion will fail. We lose everything. I die within 5 minutes of landing on that beach, along with every other soldier.
How did you do that?
Come on!
Come find me when you wake up.
Karen, you have something to say?
No, I don't. I mean,
Oh,
I do, but we'll hear what you have to say first.
Okay. Now, a couple things. Kim had brought this up earlier. I don't know if we had touched on this trailer or not before. I don't think we have, but my viewers will tell me. If I have talked about this trailer before, please tell me. I apologize, and you can call me out on it in the comments.
But there's nothing else you really can do about it.
Yeah.
We're
So
still gonna
suck
talk
it up.
about
Just keep listening.
We're
Deal
still
with
gonna
it.
talk about it. You can still listen.
So this
Don't
is
unlike his stuff.
this is an interesting concept because something like this has been done before, and I recall it was a movie with Jake Gyllenhaal, and it was like a bomb blowing up on a train. Do you recall that?
I remember there was Next, which was Nicolas Cage.
Oh God! Oh,
No, he.
He tried to go back and like
This
he
was
went
where
back
this
in
guy
time.
the Mike is talking about the one where he has X amount of time to go back to figure out who the bomber on the train
Right.
is.
Yes,
And he dies every time.
Now.
and then he keeps
Okay.
I never saw it, but
And
I
then
remember
it's, at
that.
the end, I think it's all about trying to save this girl
Yeah.
right, and
to change it, but they're like, you can't change it.
And I bring that up because I hear some people online comment about, oh, this story is so original, and I'm like, it's kind of not. Stuff like this has been done actually quite a lot in Hollywood, and that was the only example I could come up with.
It's
But-
like a action version of Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, pretty much. It's Groundhog's Day,
Way to put
except
it.
he dies at the end.
Well, yeah, that too.
But yeah, this is nutting. Wow, this is nothing that original. Now that being said, this world is intriguing. The kind of semi-mechanical suits that they have walking around in,
Right.
very Elysium-like to compare it to something.
Yeah.
Kind of like just strapping it onto your body and going out
That
and having
was
it.
an awful movie.
You didn't like Elysium?
No.
I didn't hate it. I didn't like it, but I
did
didn't
not
hate it.
like it.
I
Really?
didn't see it. I can't judge.
I mean, I love Matt Damon, but that movie did nothing for me.
By the way, I have to make a side point. I think when anyone says Matt Damon anymore, they have to add the obligatory Matt Damon into the background. You just have to do it. But no, I didn't hate Elysium. It was, and everyone's like, "Oh, well, it's about class," and I said, "No, it's really not about class. It's about healthcare. That's beside the point."
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get off that. I do want to say one thing about this before we move on. There have been a few criticisms of this film recently that I do want to address. Again, it hasn't even come out, but this has already been a hot topic with some parents.
Parents?
Parents, yes. Here's the thing. I don't know if you recall back when South Park first came out, but there was a story about a year or two into South Park's run where a kid hung himself in a closet and put a bag over his head because he thought he could come back to life like Kenny.
Wait, in real life?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I
And
thought you meant in the show.
No, not in the show.
I definitely don't remember that being in the show.
No. Well, and Karen just had a little squee moment, but we'll get back to that.
It's kind of a silent
Basil.
one.
It was a silent squee, yeah. But that actually occurred.
Okay.
And the parents of that boy tried to sue Comedy Central and the creators of South Park for saying that they made their boy do that. Now, of course,
you
they
let him watch it.
yeah, and not only that, but of course they didn't win. Now,
Right.
the same criticism is being raised against this film. There are
Right.
parents saying, "You're telling our kids that they can kill themselves or that they can die and then go back and change things." To which I say, teach your kids what's reality and fantasy, you fucking morons.
Right.
I mean,
Who has time to teach their kids? I mean, they're only with them all the time. When are the parents supposed to have fun? You know, aren't the teachers supposed to teach the kids everything they have to know for life? I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Karen.
We've had this
First of all, I
conversation
do
at work.
apologize that my
We
squeak
get
kind of
angry
came in a
parents.
very, very
No, that's okay. That's okay.
unfortunate moment
That's
that
all
when you were
right.
talking about something like that, and then I had my moment.
That's okay.
But okay, so the trailer is out for this movie. What again, as you said, like, you know, what is stopping people from telling their kids, like, you know, it's probably like what, a PG-13 movie?
It's probably PG-13.
Probably
Yeah.
PG-13 movie. That
Yeah.
means, you know, parental guidance,
Right.
you know, to some extent. So what's stopping you from going in with your kids and telling them not to do it? Like,
Right.
Right.
it makes absolutely no sense to me. Even like if you see the trailer on TV, you can say, "Hey, don't do that. That's
Right.
not right.
Yeah.
You're not coming back." Like, you know, that's not how life works. Like,
Right.
But they could get the same message from a video game.
Oh, right.
Any
Yeah.
video game you play, you die, you still come back.
Yeah, that's absolute truth. Yeah.
It's just
That
a question
lesson was
of-
from Mario 30 years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
It's a question of A, parenting, and B, common sense.
Right.
That's
And-
all it is.
And let's cycle back up to Groundhog Day. How many times did he kill himself in Groundhog's Day before he just started going to bed and waking up? And he was like, "Well, I don't need to kill myself. I'll just wake up anyways."
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what? He blew up.
Did he walk around a car?
He was in front of a bus or a car or something.
Yeah.
He hit something, and he went off the cliff. He died at least twice.
Yeah.
At least.
Don't remember.
Yeah,
Mm.
but I mean,
anyway,
like,
yeah, it's the same thing. And you have to remember that parents now aren't raising their kids. They're letting TV and films raise their kids. And therefore, kids are taking their morals from fantasy.
Well, maybe they just need to take 5 minutes out of their day to talk to their children and have a conversation with
No,
them.
that's
about
asking too much,
anything.
Kim. That's asking too
they would
much.
have to turn off the TV or their smartphone or their iPad or their iPod or their laptop or their video game,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Why physically talk to your kid when you can text them
Rah.
from across the
This
room?
is a very good point.
That's
It's a very
true.
good point, Robin.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's FaceTime now.
Right?
So why even leave your room?
Exactly.
Just call them upstairs on FaceTime, right? Be like, "Hey, kids, we're going to have this discussion right here, right now." "Mom, I don't care. FaceTime me right now."
Oh,
So we're gonna have a family council. I've connected with your dad and your sister and everything. We're gonna have a group chat right here on FaceTime.
Each
Even
in our
though
own
we're
separate room of the house.
of the
that we're all
same
in.
house.
Exactly.
Uh,
Oh,
We
we
can
can't
hear
do
each
that
other
yet.
through the walls.
It's okay, cause I got your dad on the iPad, so you can walk at us both. How about that? How about them apples?
Karen, did you have something to say before I'd cut you off?
No. I mean, it's basically everything that I concur with everything that's, you know,
Okay.
that's,
Fair enough.
yeah. Oh, but also, forgot. In
Oh,
terms
go
of the
ahead.
movie, I love Emily Blunt.
I am a fan of hers as well.
So I'm actually excited for this
And-
movie because of her.
I didn't become a fan of her until I saw the most recent Wolfman film. The Wolfman remake wasn't good, but she was good in it. I a lot of people thought her performance was kind of flat, but I actually really liked her in that.
Yeah.
And since then, I'm like, you know what? She's been solid in a lot of stuff I've seen her in. So yeah. And she's a very interesting role in this.
Yeah.
You know, and you see her on a billboard at some point. Is she like the symbol of this like army?
Yeah.
Because you see her like on, you know, holding this big sword to victory. I'm like, Emily Blunt is this nation's master chief. Holy shit! You know?
I was like, wait, is this Halo?
Yeah, you know, some people have said that. You know, with the way the helmets look and the way the gear
I
is.
was like, wait, is this kind of like a Halo-esque
Kind of Halo-esque, but you know
I was like, wait, that's not Halo though.
No, but since the suits are all exterior, you know, people are saying, oh well, it's Elysium combined with Halo.
I was
So
gonna say it reminds me of not actually. This isn't fair because I've never played the game Metroid, because that was a female.
right, yeah. Emily Blunt is Samus. Yeah.
Yeah, because she was supposed to be cast as Black Widow, actually, for the Avengers films. But
Emily
then,
Blunt was supposed to be.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But because contracting or some kind of conflict got Scarlett Johansson cast instead.
For what?
For the first Iron Man, second Iron Man movie.
Yes.
I think that was when Black Widow first appeared. Emily Blunt, I think, was supposed to have been cast.
And that would have been intriguing casting.
I would have,
Yeah.
I like her. There was this movie that her and Bill Nye and Rupert Grint were in, I think. It's like about an assassin or something. It's like some British kind of comedy film.
Yeah, I can't say I've heard of this.
It was, it was. I saw it. I can't remember what the name of it is anyway, but I loved it, and that's totally off topic.
No, no. Hey, it's okay if you get off topic. That is like the definition of this podcast. It's okay. But yeah, this is one I'm kind of looking forward to. I mean, like many people, you either have to buy into Tom Cruise or not, because a lot of people refuse to watch his films.
I was gonna say if it was maybe not
Tom Cruise.
I don't know. I mean, I think he's a good enough actor to play someone who's not crazy, like in his films. So I don't think there's really anything political. There doesn't need to be anything political.
It's the same thing with me and Mel Gibson. Just to compare to something else. Mel Gibson made a film a while back called Edge of Darkness. To take it back to this,
Wait, what's the name?
This is the Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Wait a second.
Gotcha. No, he made a film called The Edge of Darkness. I think that's what it was called. And he gave a really good performance in that. And a lot of people said, wow, this could like revamp his career. Because at that point he had the big fallout with the
those cops.
with calling his girlfriend all those names, the recording that he had on that, and then the Junos thing to the cops and all that. And he was in a lot of hot water at the time, and people were like, oh, he's not going to work in the industry ever again. Then he made that film, and I was like, oh my God, he's actually is still a really good actor. Tom Cruise kind of did that when he was in hot water, and he went out and made Tropic Thunder, and just said, hey, look at me, I'm a joke. And everyone's like, okay, we're behind you again. Then last year he made Oblivion, and we didn't see it, but apparently it got pretty solid reviews, and people liked him. So I think
bad. I saw it.
And did you like it?
I thought it was like average sci-fi.
Just average?
Good. I thought it was good. Visually, it was very well done.
It
was very stunning.
I will say it looked like everything in there was made by Apple.
Yeah, I think it was.
Apple making fighters. But, I mean
it wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah. But, yeah, this, I'm okay. I'll see Tom Cruise. I mean, I don't have anything against him politically. It's the same thing with Mel Gibson. I'll see something with him in it. Yeah. You have to forget the artist from how do I want to say this? You have to separate the performer from the performance.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the people say with Michael Jackson. They all the stuff he was accused for. Well, I still love his music.
Yeah. I think unless I disagree with the message, possibly, of the music or the performance or whatever it may be, I don't think I have as much of a problem with kind of, seeing a movie that a particular actor is necessarily
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my point. I've seen people who are saying, "Oh, I'm not going to see this because I don't support Scientology." But that has nothing to do with it.
I don't know. I think that, I know that I shouldn't, we're not talking about religion or anything, but Scientology in and of itself, I know it's a rich people kind of thing, and
it's a clique.
We an
expensive clique.
But is it doing bad things?
No, in a sense, but some people have said yes because it's taking money from those who can't afford to give money.
But so many things.
But so many religions do. But
and it's not just religions, corporations, anything and everything.
Entity doesn't.
So again, I'm not trying to push. Obviously, I'm not pushing pushing Scientology or anything.
Right.
Kind of, it's not going out killing people.
Right.
It's not, going.
There have been other religions that have killed far more people in the name of that religion.
Right.
And we're obviously not going to.
We're not going to dive into that topic.
Exactly.
We can discuss that another time.
Yes, that's for another podcast with a different title.
And
dreading.
Yeah.
Dreading and dying.
Oh. But heading off of that topic into this one. Next. Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
For Alexander, life couldn't get worse.
I can't believe Elliot texted photoshopped pictures of me to the whole school.
Nice boobs, Alexander.
My black book! Unbelievable.
For his family, Life couldn't be better.
I got a call today. I have an interview for a game design firm.
You could be looking at the new vice president of Lone Hill Press.
Once I get my license tomorrow, I kind of have everything I've ever wanted. Hashtag blessed, you know?
But one day can change everything.
Shouldn't you guys be up?
Does anyone know where the diapers are?
Coming in for a razor, honey.
It should be Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad movie.
Yes.
Yeah. I was watching the trailer.
Bazinga.
Yeah, I know, but Kim, no, I completely agree with you.
I totally agree. I was like, what?
Here's the thing. This was a children's book, which I did read as a child, and I liked it. And it's about this kid who is just having the crappiest day of his life. You know, he wakes up with gum in his hair, and he drops the toothpaste cap into the sink and can't get it out. Then he falls in a mud puddle, and then he gets picked on at school, and all the shit falls out of his locker. You know, and then he goes to the dentist and finds out he has like 7 cavities. It's just a shitty day. But his family has a good day. It's just about this kid having a really crappy day. But everyone else is okay. Here they said, oh, well, we just can't focus on one poor kid. Let's give shit to everybody. Which I don't get. Now,
The movie doesn't even focus on him. It should be called Alexander's Family.
Yeah.
Their
terrible
terrible
day.
Right. Which makes no damn sense. This is about Alexander and his crappy day.
Right.
And it looks like on this day, he looks like he's having a decent day because you never see him on this day.
Right, you don't even know what
you
happens
see everybody
Yeah.
else.
Before that, you see what's going on, you know, with apparently his brother texting Photoshopped pictures of him, which, by the way, isn't really even that funny because you know anyone could really do that to anyone, whatever.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Bad Photoshop.
Exactly.
It was a bad Photoshop at that, yeah. It was like, that was a cut and paste tool in Paint, you know? But anyway, yes, Robin.
See, we do it at work all the time, and it still cracks us up.
Nice.
Should have done it.
Have you been photoshopped onto something, Robin? No comment.
Nothing
that I want to say.
Oh.
Not for the ears of this podcast.
Yeah, now, obviously, it looked like they had to pull a little bit of star power on this. So they got Steve Carell and Jennifer Garner. Now, individually, I like both of them. You know, Jennifer Garner has had on and off work. Steve Carell has had on and off work. And in this, they're both, you know, just being themselves, really. They're not really playing parts. They're just being themselves, which is fine. You know, they don't have to really be any particular, you know, performance in this. They can just go on and have a good time with this. But the bad day that they're having appears to just be some of the poorest slapstick comedy I've seen. And I'm like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I understand it's PG Disney and there's only so much you can do.
Yeah,
but come on.
lame. Yeah.
You know?
Really.
It's like, this is the kind of slapstick I would expect out of, like, Old Dogs or something, you know? It's like, oh, just
I
stop.
thought you loved Old Dogs.
Oh, I'm not going to rant. I'm not going to rant.
Wait, I feel like we've already ranted about that.
I've ranted about that plenty. Okay.
For hours.
Moving on. There was one part in this trailer that I did laugh at. That was only because Kim
part that I
laughed.
laughed?
Yes. So there's only one line in this trailer that we both laughed at. And what was it, Kim?
It was when he goes up and hits the banner and the trophy case falls over and the teacher's like, okay, Wreck-It Ralph.
I laughed at that too. I was like, wow, way to go, Wreck-It Ralph.
And that made me laugh for a couple of reasons. Well, I was like, okay, that was actually a little funny, but also it's like, hey, Disney, plug in your own shit, you know?
Right?
But no, that made me
It's
laugh.
like Pixar.
I know.
Yeah.
But everything else in here, I'm just like, you know, I didn't laugh. But also, in the middle, when all the family's fighting, Alexander is the one who says, we're going to get past this bad day. You're the one having a bad day.
Right.
Why are you sitting there like, oh, we have to come together? In the book, he's like, screw my family. I hate everyone right now. So what is
Obviously,
this?
this was the day after his horrible, terrible, no good day.
Well, then it should be the day after Alexander's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
The day after tomorrow.
Yes. Oh, God. Disney... look, I understand...
They're reaching for material.
They are. They really are.
And the next movie is going to be Harold and the Purple Crown. And they're going to make a movie out of that.
Oh, right. Right. God, I remember that. Holy crap. That
They're gonna
was
start
really
making
young.
Bernstein Bear movies.
Oh my God. Well, they made Bernstein Bear, the little animated
live
ones.
action.
Oh
well,
my
let's
God.
not. That would be
Movies.
horrifying.
That would be horrifying.
Not even give them that idea, please.
Can we do some like scary story movies?
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
I know
Yeah.
that would be awesome.
But I'm going to say this, Allison, if next week I see a story about a Bernstein Bears film,
We're blaming you.
you're getting locked out of this house, okay?
All right.
But yeah, I got nothing really else to say about this. I feel like Disney, I feel like they felt as though they had to get two big names in the cast, and they had to give them more face time than Alexander.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Steve Carell and Jennifer Garner doing a lot on screen.
Right.
And the kid Alexander is only going to be in about maybe a third of the film.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
So, yes, Karen.
Could it be possible that they're just playing that up for the trailer?
This is possible. That maybe they're just showing them to get people to come in.
Yeah.
That's very possible. Yeah.
Just wondering.
No, that's an honest point. And, only time will tell. But as it stands now, it's something we were talking about last week, how comedy trailers work. Do you show your best material in the trailer and get people in, or do you save some of your best material for the film?
Right.
I don't think they used any of their material in this trailer because we weren't laughing at all. But
Only Wreck-It Ralph.
only Wreck-It Ralph, yeah. So as of right now, this is something I am not looking forward to. But
I'm gonna wreck it.
I'm gonna wreck it. I can only hope Disney treats us with a little respect. But moving on from that, getting into in our what I gotta say is basically our weekly wrap up of the young adult genre, because there's almost another one coming out each week for it, is the next one in the series, which is The Giver.
From great suffering, great pain, came a solution. Communities, where disorder became harmony.
The way things look and the way things are very different.
What do you think would happen if you skipped your morning injection?
I cannot prepare you for what's going to happen.
And I said when we first saw it, this looks like The Matrix for tweens.
That's what I said. Well,
Dude, I was
just
so... Here. Go ahead, Karen.
No. I was basically saying that was basically my exact kind of
feeling.
That.
Yeah.
It's like I was so confused after watching it like twice. I was like, all right, I gotta go wiki because I don't know what I just watched. What the heck is this book about?
I was on the same lines too. After I watched it, I had no idea what it was about.
The trailer explains nothing.
And the name didn't
Giver?
explain anything
Right,
either.
yeah.
The title of the movie didn't explain
Very
anything
true.
either.
Well, I mean, I know what The Giver means now because I read the wiki article.
Well, yeah, I didn't even go make the effort to. I'm just like, you know what? Your trailer didn't even suck me in, and that's what trailers are for. It sucks.
I actually wasn't too disappointed though. Like I thought it was interesting enough. Like
Hold on. Robin, don't do that behind Karen. You're going to distract her.
Do it.
that now you're going to have
No,
people...
my God. That sounded really
Don't do that
bad on the
behind
podcast.
Do it in front of Karen.
It's like you hear this.
Because that sounds not
Now you have to guess
provocative
the
at all. Please put
Anyway,
the sound,
continue, Karen.
what you think that sound is in the comment section below.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I it wasn't, the movie that out of all the trailers that we were doing today that I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to see this.
Mm-hmm.
But it looked
Decent.
Decent.
Decent enough to pique your interest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'll say this. I did read The Giver back in middle school, I think. For the life of me, I can barely remember what this thing is about. I was not interested in it at all. The first couple chapters I liked, and after that I was just like, I could care less about
Trust
these
me,
characters.
I skimmed the wiki through too. I was like, all right, I'm just skip to the end. What
And-
happens at the beginning, what happens at the end, we're good.
And again, this goes back to something that the young adult genre is doing right now. a lot of this stuff is just, let's get a couple of decent to good actors in the lead parts and just cast good-looking kids in all the other parts, regardless of whether or not they can act. And this story looks like it's going to be that. And I mean, go ahead, Karen.
What movies necessarily are you referring to?
As far as like the young adult genre?
Yeah.
The Host.
No, okay, yeah, that would be The Host. Go ahead, yeah, but also like Beautiful Creatures,
I liked that
Mortal
movie.
Instruments.
Did you say Divergent?
No.
Divergent was. It's a young adult.
It's
a
young adult, but
teen.
actually the lead character, she was pretty good.
Now here's the thing: the lead actress, she's actually a very solid actress.
She is.
I've heard rave reviews about her in The Spectacular Now, which came out recently. Again, something I really want to see, but I haven't seen it. We're going to talk about Divergent later.
Good.
Because I know you had seen it and you wanted to discuss it.
I liked it, yeah.
But yeah, this is. It almost looks like this society is kind of framed like the society in Divergent.
Divergent / Matrix.
Yes.
Yeah.
They merged the two.
Yeah. And one thing I've said to Kim, I know I've said this on the podcast before, but I gotta say, Jeff Bridges, stop eating peanut butter on the set. Because he says a line, he said, "I don't know if you're ready for the information I'm going to give you." What? Stop chewing while you're acting! I don't know if you're prepared for the problem. Oh my God! Dude, look, I love Jeff Bridges. I do. I think he's a solid actor. But the last time I understood him was in Tron Legacy. Ever since then, like, here's the thing. He did this originally in True Grit, in the remake of True Grit, which I liked him in. And I thought that was just for that part. But ever since then, he's been doing that in several other films. Apparently he did that in R.A.P.D. He did it in this. It's like, take the gum out of your mouth. For the gum.
It's, what is it called? It's his
muse?
Not his muse. It's like his style.
His style?
Typecast? Or like, almost like...
His method.
His gimmick?
Maybe his gimmick?
I don't know. But...
It's his thing.
I'm getting sick of it. And more often...
You just made Karen spit up.
What? What happened?
When Alison said it's his thing, I spat out my water. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, this has... for at least the lead two actors, well, not the lead actors, but, the supporting cast, the seniors of the cast, are good. Meryl Streep and Jeff Bridges.
Katie Holmes.
Good. Katie Holmes out of nowhere. Yeah. Who they don't even feature her in the credits. I was like,
oh,
what?
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, when you're looking at the title cards, I didn't even mention Katie Holmes. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I saw
that's
her.
kind
I
of
was
a shame.
Is that? Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay.
Kind of a shame.
Never mind.
She's like, hey, look, I still exist.
I didn't die in Batman.
I got out of the locked room that was Tom Cruise. Oh, but now this again, it's the young adult genre is right now easily the quickest growing genre in Hollywood, and everyone's trying to jump onto that bandwagon, and they're pulling up all these old books from our childhood that were good books for their time, but now they're trying to reimagine them. I mean, recently we had Ender's Game, which was kind of the same thing, something that was written 20, 30 years ago that no one thought, would ever get a movie adaptation, but they're like, oh, it's young adult. Grab onto it. Never read it.
Listen to the book. Yeah, I listened to it because I don't have time to read. That's what driving an hour to and from work is all about. Listening to books.
Well, you can read on the way to work. I mean...
Someone can fall asleep at a stoplight
yeah.
and read a book.
Yeah.
Yes, Robin.
I do not endorse that.
Says our local export.
Yeah. But if nothing else about The Giver, we're going to move on to our last trailer, which is one I saved for this week, which is The Signal.
Can you tell me your name?
Nicholas Eastman.
Are you from Earth?
Yes, I'm from Earth.
What I'm about to tell you, Nick, you may find a bit disturbing. Due to circumstances surrounding your condition, I'm afraid that our information is extremely limited.
You mean my condition? Wait, what's my condition?
recall for me the first time you encountered the signal?
The what?
What's everyone wincing for? What's wrong with the signal? Oh?
There's another one. I was like, what? That's the one I saw like a couple weeks ago. And I was
What?
like,
No.
I still don't get it.
What's wrong with the signal?
It's like an aliens. It's like an indie alien movie. That's perfect way I say it. That's exactly what it was, right? Like there was like the whole like feeling. That's not like, and then there was the aliens, and then just no. Yeah.
I'm actually excited for this. You'll think me psychotic for it, but here's the thing.
He likes those indie sci-fi movies.
I do. But it reminds me a lot of Chronicle. Do you remember Chronicle from a few years ago? Okay. Again, small indie sci-fi film. Chronicle is about 3 kids who discovered... They really didn't know what. They didn't really explain it, but this thing buried in the earth. It looked like almost like the crystals from the Fortress of Solitude. Afterwards, they start developing powers. Telekinetic powers. They're able to move things with their minds. They can catch baseballs. They can move cars. And as they grow, it's basically, they describe it as like working out your muscles. The more they move stuff, the stronger they become. To the point where they can actually start to fly. They just, push themselves down, and they can fly. They fly so far in the sky. They're playing, football in the air over planes and stuff. Well, a lot of people compared Chronicle to a live-action version of Akira. Now, does anyone know what Akira is? What are you laughing at? What did I do?
No, it's not you. It's in my own head.
I'm about to say, what did I do?
When you said they fly so high, it reminded me of the Reading Rainbow song. For some reason, I don't want to
give a look. It's in a book. It's Reading Rainbow.
I can do anything.
Oh my God! Sorry, I made Kim laugh with something.
Sorry.
It's okay. That's all right. Now, Akira, people don't like to admit it, but is probably influenced more animation and more in Hollywood than any other film in the last few decades. There have been so many stories that have stolen from Akira that it's almost like copyright infringement at this point. But I recommend all of you go see Akira. It was an anime film that came out in 87, 88, I think. And I saw it about a year ago, and it astounded me with how good it was. And this, The Signal, looks like a spoof of Akira without the children, which, no one's seen it, but that's okay. The story is these kids come into, telekinetic powers and slowly start to expand, and to the point where they're almost becoming gods. And they start to question, what is a god? When you start getting these powers and you can influence so much, and and something that Akira tapped into, people start worshiping you, and it's like, is it right just to worship a human being? Because you have faults, and it's intriguing. And it looks like with the way that this movie approaches The Signal is the same way that the abilities are approached in Akira, and almost to an extent Chronicle. And that intrigues me. Now, just from a front view, without comparing it to anything else, I can understand how you would say this looks really flat. It just looks like, okay, it's a bunch of good-looking teens who are going to get superhero powers,
That's not actually what I thought when I saw it. Because, if you put it that way, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, what I saw was, so much of the whole, self-discovery, I don't know what to do with myself kind of stuff. It was, and not to say that can't be done well, especially where, they get powers and stuff, but it felt like, I don't know, it was too much. I don't want to say there was too much emotion, because that's not a good criticism of anything.
Too much tweeny emotion.
Yeah, maybe. Angst. Too much angst.
Too much angst. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. For me, it was just... But that's me. I don't know about anybody else.
No, but that's a fair criticism, I would say. And then Lawrence Fishburne out of nowhere.
That was cool.
Yeah, and anything with him, I'll see. I really like Lawrence Fishburne, but he looks like he's the only name in this film.
Which is also a good
which
thing.
was fine. I don't recognize anyone else on the cast. I like the visuals in this trailer. I like what they're doing with the slow motion and the way they're presenting the signal, because again, it harkens back to other films of the like, like Akira and Chronicles. Like, maybe they are going down the sci-fi supernatural route. So I am intrigued. We have to wait and see for another trailer, but I'm excited for this. Now, what did you guys think of this? Just without any outsider views or without having really seen anything else like this, what did you think besides just
meh?
Meh.
Meh.
Everyone was just meh.
Well, yeah. I mean, my initial thought was what I said earlier.
Mhm.
It was like it was a like indie, not so much like in the small production side. Like those movies with there was this like there was this. There was this parody trailer that Andy Samberg did about like the girl waving her hand, like
I think I saw that.
Yeah, like that's the kind of feeling that I got from it, like kind of the whole self-discovery and
that is a very, very common theme in indie.
Yeah, so so indie alien movie is
okay
how I would sum up that trailer.
That's a fair criticism. I think what you're saying is it's not small in budget, but it's small in scope. It feels confined to its universe. It feels confined to who they have and where they are.
Which isn't necessarily a bad
Oh,
thing.
no,
like
no.
Because there's a lot of character development which could occur. And I don't think that alien movies necessarily need to be on a big scale.
Oh no, absolutely
and
not.
I think that again, but it's just I think the way that the movie's kind of approaching it is where I'm having the problem with it. It's just kind of like I think it's the style that I'm having more problems with. Kind of like it's the combination of like two styles which I'm maybe not familiar with. As working together, so maybe that's why I'm kind of having more of an adverse effect to it. But I don't know.
Okay. And fair points. Okay. Kim, Allison, anything?
Meh.
Meh.
That's all I can say. Meh.
Meh. But what do you have, Robin?
That's
No.
her update. Her voice update.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been checking the voice updates. That's why earlier my silent squee was because
okay, that's what it was for.
Josh
Okay.
Kaufman made it to the finals. So if
Okay.
anybody watches The Voice.
Gotcha.
There's your
For
shout
those
out.
few voice fans who listen to my podcast.
Or her still listening.
Yes.
Yeah.
But is there anything else you guys want to bring up? Discussion? Anything? We got a couple more minutes. Want to talk about anything? And I butchered that sentence.
I mean, I would be interested in talking about Divergent.
We can discuss it for a little bit.
Or
Sure.
were you thinking of some other time or?
Well, you know what? Sure. We'll how about I'll give you 5 minutes.
Go.
Try my best.
Let me get a timer ready.
Yeah. But no one else has seen it yet, right?
Nope.
No. Now here's the thing. I've listened to the reviews of both oneofus.net and a soon-to-be-up website called Double Toasted, which is basically the fallout of Spill.com.
Okay.
But I've listened to their reviews. But go ahead.
Well, because I think a lot of the criticisms for the movies that I've seen so far have to do with the fact that it's being compared to the Hunger Games. That's
It's a
that's
very
one thing.
heavy comparison. Yes.
Yeah, and that's number one. And number two is that there are a lot of plot holes in the movie and kind of like being categorizing people because like due to their personalities and stuff like that. But neither of those are things that I necessarily care that much about, because I think that this movie had some of the best female characters which I've seen in a while.
Now, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
and I feel like that hasn't actually been discussed as much. And yeah, so, but after I saw the movie, I was actually incredibly excited to kind of see the upcoming movies for this series.
And they have greenlit the next two.
Yeah.
Yes.
So simply because I think that there were a lot of strong female characters, and I was incredibly surprised and excited about that.
Okay, fair enough.
So,
I'm just gonna let you know their responses
Yeah.
to the film. Okay, again, I have not seen it. Your comparisons to Hunger Games aren't unwarranted. I've heard one critic said that it was 5 additional schools to Hogwarts. But we digress. A lot of the points that I've read and I've heard is that there's a bit too much set up for the next 2 films. And that's outside the plot holes and of the performances.
Right, yeah.
That's just, okay, we understand there's going to be more books.
Yeah.
Or there's going to be more films.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend the last 30 minutes setting that up. And I mean, again, I have to compare it to Hunger Games. Just tell a good story to start off, you know?
I mean, I personally think it was a relatively good story. It wasn't, it wasn't completely flat, and it was based off of the book,
Right.
Which I haven't actually read yet.
Mm-hmm.
But, so I don't know how that meshes in with everything.
Okay.
But yeah, so, and in terms of female characters, I know that everyone's raving about how amazing Katniss is from the Hunger Games. Katniss whines a lot. And that's okay because it's a well-rounded female character. Like, she has this whole idea of responsibility thrown upon her, and, she has to go and do things. But whereas we've got this character, Triss, who is more proactive in the way that, she handles the situations. Like, she's fighting. She's at the bottom, and she's trying to fight her way to the top, even though she's kind of got special skills or whatever. And I think that kind of character is incredibly refreshing as well. So, I don't know. Like, I'm really looking forward to it. Just, like, also Ashley Judd's character, the mom, was pretty cool. And even the bad guy, Kate Winslet, was pretty awesome as well. So.
Okay. I will say a couple other things, and I would like to hear your response to it. First off, I actually did read one article that was linked by someone I had known from a former website. They linked an article from Jezebel. Now, I try not to read too much from Jezebel, just because I know that some of the things on there are far outside the scope of stuff I tend to read. But I read the article, and it was a good article, and it was for support of Divergent. Now, what the article said was, and this was compared on other sites, this is basically right in the middle ground of the young adult genre. It's better than something than, say, Twilight or Mortal Bones or The Host.
Right.
But not quite the level of Harry Potter or Hunger Games.
Right.
Right in the middle ground. And as such, they felt maybe they could improve on that with 2 more films. Yeah. Now, that being said, in this Jezebel article, she basically said that Divergent was a big middle finger to rape culture. And that the entire film was that. Because, and this was how the article was summed up. This critic had walked into a film, and they accidentally started 300 Rise of an Empire. And apparently in the opening scene of that film, it involves a number of Spartan soldiers grabbing a younger woman and shaking her violently. Then they stopped that film and proceeded to show Divergent. And the critic went on to say that it went from showing rape culture to giving a middle finger to rape culture. And that there's a scene in the film, and again, the scene was spoiled for me in this review, but they said there's one scene where she's having one of those, like, mental tests that they put her through, where she's almost raped. And then after the rape, when she wakes up, everyone is applauding her and congratulating her, and that's basically just saying, look, this is how you approach the topic. This is how you tell women this is how you should be treated. Don't shun a woman for denying a man. Celebrate it. In that sense, that's good. Now, if the entire film is that, and this is what her summary was. She said the entire film is saying, fuck rape culture. Now,
be very careful how you continue to phrase
I understand
the rest of your sentence.
Yes, exactly. This is something that is hard to comment on, because at that point, if you offer up any criticism of the film, you're then saying, oh, you're supporting rape culture. And that upsets me, because now I've heard people give criticisms to Divergent, to which other people have responded, oh, so you're supporting rape culture. To which I say, no, my criticism has nothing to do with that.
I mean, obviously, it depends on what you're criticizing, what
Right.
aspect of the film you're criticizing,
Exactly.
how you're criticizing it, and, nothing can ever be generalized in the way that people try to generalize
Right.
things. So.
But to give you an example, like let's say I saw the film and I pointed out plot holes and I pointed out a bad performance here or there and how it tried to lead too much into the other films.
That has nothing to do with you know, because I think the message of the film and kind of the way that it was executed are two different things.
Right.
They don't have to, you know, they don't have to. If you say no to one, doesn't mean that you say no to the other.
Exactly. Now, and to give you a fair point, as someone who tries to make films, as someone who tries to be involved with the industry, I look for certain things in a film. I look at different things that you may not look at, and you look at things that I might necessarily be looking at. And when I give criticism of a film, you know, or if someone else gives criticism of a film and then is shot down for a point that they are entirely not making, that is upsetting. And that's what I hate. There's been, you know, an anti-criticism for the criticisms of this film, where people are making valid criticisms, and they come back and say, oh, so you want to support the rape culture. And like, what are you talking about?
That I haven't read, like, you know, I haven't seen.
Again, there hasn't been a lot of that.
Yeah.
But it has occurred.
And, you know, and it's just kind of the way that people try to present themselves and try to kind of articulate what they're trying to say. And when you're talking about a film in its entirety, with every single aspect of the film trying, you know, saying that rape culture is bad. Obviously it is, but that doesn't necessarily mean that if there are plot holes, like dividing people based on their personalities, and you say, well, I don't think that's a good idea because that just doesn't physically make sense to me.
Yeah. And another thing, sorry, completely off point, but I heard someone said that apparently in this society, when you're multifaceted, that means you're a threat. So apparently patting your belly and rubbing your head means that you're a threat to society. But anyway,
that's threatening.
That's a total threat. Look, I can chew gum and walk. Anyway, we digress. Go ahead.
But yeah, kind of saying that way of dividing people is a negative to the film or to the books. I don't think that's necessarily saying I support rape culture.
Right. Exactly.
That's just saying that there are technical flaws to the film.
Right.
Which is different from you commenting on the message or the metaphor or whatever it may be, kind of like the symbolic meaning of the film.
Right.
That's completely different things.
Right.
And I do tend to look towards, you know, that side a little bit more. And that's why the technical criticisms don't bug me as much for this film, just because I think it sends a very strong message in terms of strong female characters, strong female leads, and how, you know, young girls have role models to look up to, and women can be kick-ass in film and things like that. So that's what I ended up focusing on when I saw the movie. And
well, fair enough.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you took something good away from it. Good. Well, Robin, were you raising your hand or were you just stretching? I have a question. Okay. But did you get all your points out?
Yeah, I think so. I just think that people need to not judge it so harshly on kind of on its comparisons to other movies, even though I know that's going to happen.
Yes, and especially because it's young adult.
It's young adult,
and it's so close to other films of its kin.
Yeah,
you know?
and I feel like people are kind of skimming over the idea of having strong female characters. Like all the reviews I've read, people haven't really talked about that much.
Well, here's one thing I want to stress before we end. It's one thing to have a strong female character. It's another to have a well-written female character.
She was relatively well-written.
Okay, and that's my point. We've seen plenty of quote-unquote strong women in Hollywood, but none of them, well, some of them, have been well-written. What we're looking at is how do you develop a strong, independent woman who has been written well. And that's what we want to see. Not just that's her trait. She's strong.
No,
you know?
that wasn't. She was a developed character.
And that's my point.
She was.
Right.
She was a developed character. And I feel that there were a lot of nuances within her character. And I think the way that the actress portrayed it was well done.
Well,
so
good. I'm glad to hear
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe when it comes out on Netflix or something, or if it's on demand, maybe we'll check it out or something.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's good.
Okay. Well,
Sorry we lost like 2 people at the end. I
Alison's about to drop her
apologize.
mic.
Sorry.
I caught it when I dropped it earlier.
But if there's
It's been a long day, all right, guys?
I know that's okay. It's okay. So if there's nothing else, I'm gonna thank Miss 3-Star Sapphire for coming by.
You're welcome.
I want to thank the Karate Kid for coming by. I didn't forget it.
Okay, good.
Next week,
Next
new
week we'll have
name.
another.
Yep.
I want to thank FanGirl Extraordinaire for coming back.
Yay.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have you on more. I know you're busy right now, but hopefully we'll have you on more. And I want to thank Confucius 2.0 for his bit of input and for his looking up pictures and information. We appreciate that.
You're welcome. And no more things.
And I once again am the Projectionist. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Have a good night and take care.
Bye.
No one else is going to give a bye?
Bye. Good night.
There you go.
Can't